Hi everyone, and welcome back to A Time for Reading. I'm Sharon, and this is my Reading Rush TBR. Alright, so today what I wanted to go over was my Reading Rush TBR. I am still, of course, doing the Book Junkie trials. As to how that's going, hint, hint, not well. I've decided to switch some things up. Plans have changed. So basically, at the beginning of the month when I expected to be reading a ton, I ended up having a really bad case of like respiratory issues, and I was like coughing a ton, and I was getting like really worn out and tired, and I was sleeping a lot. And then I got back, and I feel like I was in a bit of a reading slump because like I was so slowed down in my reading. It made me less excited about reading. So then it made me less excited about my entire TBR, and it just became this whole mess. That being said, I figure the best thing to do is just kind of regroup and try to finish as many of these books as possible, but also add some new books to my TBR that don't have like the shade of illness on them, I guess. I did choose these books with the mindset that just two of them would fulfill the entire Reading Rush TBR. That way, if I decided to just go back to my Book Junkie trial TBR, I could, and I know I also finished my Reading Rush TBR. The goal, of course, is just to finish as many of these damn books as possible. Hopefully that's what happens. Hope you guys are like rooting for me on that one. So to start off, the first book that I'm going to read is also the book that I'm going to be using to cover, I believe, 3 of the prompts at most. But at the very least, one prompt in particular, which is what made me pick this book, that book is Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. It is a children's book. I don't have it with me just yet. It's on its way, but I'm posting the picture right there. And this involves a boy. It's a children's book, like I said. It involves a boy who's just having a really bad day. And they made a movie out of it with, I believe, Steve Carell and Jennifer Garner, and it was the most precious freaking movie ever. I actually don't read a lot of books that have movie adaptations, like unless I read the book before the movie adaptation came out. I'm very weird about reading books that have been made into movies if I've already seen the movie, but I figure like a children's book, it shouldn't be that bad. It can also fulfill the prompt of having more than 5 words in the title because it has like 100. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but like you get it. And I can read it in one spot because it's a children's book. So what will likely happen is I'll sit and read it with my nephew, and then we'll watch the movie after, and then just like compare and contrast, and I can make it in like a learning moment for him too. The next book that I picked that would then fulfill the prompt of having purple on the cover, a non-human main character, it fulfills the prompt of being a book I meant to read last year because I actually bought it right when it came out, and it also fulfills the prompt of, hold on, I know this one. And also fills the prompt of being an author's first book, and that book would be Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. If I read just this and Alexander's No Good, Terrible, Very Bad Day, I will literally fulfill every single one of the prompts with just those 2 books. However, because like your girl likes to be extra, if I decide to go for the 7, if I go for the 7, then the Alexander's Terrible and Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day will count for just the prompt that's about reading the book and then watching the movie adaptation, and Sea Witch will only count for the prompt of having a non-human main character. So I will introduce to you the other books now, if I decide to read all 7, and if I find that I have the time and you know it's just more attractive to me than my current TBR. Some of these are for my Book Junkie Trials TBR because some of them I'm still very much interested in for my Book Junkie Trials TBR. So here we go. The first book would be That Night by Sin Baylog. This book was a book that I picked to be part of the prompt of reading a book in the same spot. To go into a little bit about it, this is about a girl whose boyfriend committed suicide, and she doesn't believe that he would be that type, and it basically explores the time before and after the event, converging into that night itself when we find out what happened. And the next book that I have picked is a book that is someone's debut. It is a mystery, so of course I'm not going to go super in depth with the description, but I will give you just enough to tease you because that's pretty much all I read to make me want to have this book myself. And that book would be Magic for Liars. This is a book by Sarah Gailey, and it involves a woman who's investigating a mystery at a school for witchcraft and wizardry. I literally hear nothing I don't love, so I'm super hyped for this. I'm wanting to read this ever since I got it. I ended up actually getting this in the mail right after I announced my Book Junkie Trials TBR, so I was like, crap, I forgot I was getting this because I'm an idiot and I don't pay attention to the things I just order. Hopefully we'll be able to get to it with the Reading Rush, and I can't wait. This sounds amazing, and it's supposed to be written like in a noir style, which I understand how that would work for like a movie, but I'm really excited to see how that would work in a book. So this should be epic. Like, I can't wait. The next book is from my Book Junkie Trials TBR. The next two, I'm just gonna show you two at the same time. It's part of my Book Junkie Trials TBR. A description of one in the Book Junkie Trials TBR video. The other, there's no need for it. So that first book would be Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the only Taylor Jenkins Reid book I have yet to read, and it would fulfill the prompt of being a book that I meant to read last year. I've literally been meaning to read it every single year since the year that I got it. The next book is A Midsummer Night, #NoFilter. This would fulfill the prompt of having purple on the cover, and this is A Midsummer Night translated into text message. I'm really excited to get to read this and just see this like modern twist to how Shakespeare is communicated about. So could be really interesting, could be a total epic fail. I'll let y'all know. And my last book is yet another book I totally forgot that I ordered when I was making my Book Junkie Trials TBR. Yeah. That book would be Fierce Fairy Tales, Poems and Stories to Stir Your Soul, that's a tongue twister, by Nikita Gill. This is a book of, obviously, poetry based on fairy tales. From what I've seen so far, the writing is absolutely gorgeous and just like such a really cool twist to fairy tales and stories as we know them. So I'm really hyped to get to this one. And again, it's like just another shorter kind of book that should be a fast-paced read. I'm trying to take it easy on myself, but also like make sure I try to get through as much of my Book Junkie Trial TBR as possible. This wrap-up is going to be fascinating in my opinion, like to see all the books that I'm just like, yep, that was a no, and then other books that I'm super stoked about and happy I read. So we'll see what happens. I've definitely got my like reading groove back. I'm so excited to read, and after I'm done filming, I'm gonna be reading some more. I think it's like past midnight right now, but I'm feeling pretty awake, so I should be fine. I did go out today, which is the whole reason I decided to film once I came home, because I was like, oh, my makeup's already done. My voice still sounds like crap, but you know, like it's fine. We'll film and we'll get through it. But I was like, my makeup's nice and like my hair looks okay. I was just like, oh, let me just like be productive and like get this done too. So glad I was able to come back and like film and get this done, because I do want to post my Reading Rush TBR before the Reading Rush starts, and I'm really excited to be part of it this year. That being said, like I wasn't sure I was gonna get a chance to film it because I was like just not feeling good. Like the fact that I even got up and went out today is like a whole miracle in and of itself. But I'm really glad I did. It was a really good time. I actually got to see some friends of mine play in their band, and then also got to discover some really cool new music as well. And I'm gonna insert some clips right now because y'all gotta hear this because they're amazing. So the first band that's gonna play is gonna be Good Luck Sigourney, and the next band that's gonna be in the next clip will be Peace in the City Grease. So enjoy. So good, and it was just such a good time to be there. The music was super fun. I bought all of Peace and City Grease's music today. It happened today. I'm an idiot, but I bought all their music tonight, so I was like super stoked about it. And then I didn't buy Good Looks because I own it all already, but that was how it was when I first discovered their music as well. Like I downloaded everything that same day because I was like, they're amazing, they sound so good. So I was really stoked about it. And yeah, this was a really fun night. I was glad to get to go out after just like being a hermit for like the last month of just like not feeling good, just coughing a ton. Like I just felt gross, and I'm so glad like I feel a lot better now, and like the asthma's a lot better right now. Here's to breathing and reading. So segue to my end. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoy the Reading Rush as well too. If you like this video, please hit that like button down below. It definitely helps me. Leave a comment if you want to tell me about the books that you're reading, or any of the books that you thought were interesting from what I showed you, or if you've read any of the books that I've already showed you. And then also make sure that you subscribe if you want to see more of my content in the future. I guess the last thing is, if you're doing Reading Rush, like tell me, because I want to find out. I'd love to be able to follow your profiles, and if you have your own TBR up, please post it down below so that I can watch it as well. So hopefully it won't feed more into my book buying addiction. However, maybe it can. I don't know. This is why I have a problem. I don't do crap about it. I don't even try to avoid it. I'm just like, yeah, it's whatever. It's just a thing. Thank you so much for joining me today. end of my rant about my book buying issues, and hopefully you guys can all find a time for reading. Have a great rest of your day. Bye everyone.